Welcome back to the channel, Indiana at the voice of college football. Your Indiana Hoosiers are 11-0 for the first time in program history. A lot of people are going to have a lot to say about this one, and I'll just say it was another dominant win for the Indiana Hoosiers, and people can make of it what they will. People can. I thought Steve Wiltfong had a great tweet where it's amazing sometimes how many people forget that there's two halves to a football game, and how many people will try and make a story out of one half of football, but like I said, the story coming out of this game is your Indiana Hoosiers are 11-0. Thankfully, coming up on a bye week because the team needs to get healthy. But yeah, it's like you sound spoiled and pretentious when you complain about wins like this. Like Indiana allowed 23 yards of offense. Indiana's defense allowed 23 yards of offense in the second half. They forced a fumble. They had the interception. They were absolutely locked down. Aside from the busted coverage on fourth down, which it seems like every team that Indiana plays gets one busted coverage touchdown, and that's all they're going to get the entire game. Indiana's defense was absolutely locked down. They were really good in the first half. They struggled sometimes to get off the field, but what is there really to complain about? They beat Wisconsin at home 31-7. Fernando Mendoza, 4 touchdowns, 299 yards, more touchdowns than incompletions. Heisman Mendoza rolled on. Charlie Becker breakout continues. He had another 100-yard performance. Omar Cooper scored. At one point, we had the Lawrence North connection, the Lawrence North package out there with Cooper and Chandler both on the field at the same time, with Monshun Sales in attendance. Obviously, a 5-star from Lawrence North. And there was a shitload of recruits in attendance. It was by far the biggest list I've ever seen. The recruit section was packed with 4 and 5 stars, and it felt like Indiana played with a little bit of stage fright. Like the number one key to success that we had going into this weekend was avoid the hangover, and it really felt like Indiana did play with a hangover. And I don't know if it was so much of a mental hangover as it was a physical hangover. Like this is their 6th game in 6 weeks. They played 3 really physical football games, including a really physical football game last week on the road at Penn State, and Wisconsin came ready to play. Like, I was super impressed with their defense. Those 2 freshman linebackers are absolute studs. Those guys are going to be conference records for the next couple years. The defensive line obviously was wreaking havoc. Indiana struggled to protect the quarterback. Mendoza was sacked the most times he's been sacked all year, I believe, which was pretty shocking to see. Some of the hits he was taking, especially as the game went on, were like, all right, guys, come on. Like, let's not do this right now. Like in week 12 when the game is out of hand. But um, yeah, it really felt like in the first half they played tight, and it felt like each person was trying to make the play to be the reason why a big time recruit decided to come to Indiana. And it's been the sum of the parts is or the sum of the parts is greater than or some of the whole is greater than the individual parts for this Indiana football team. And just when they got out of their own way in the second half and relaxed a little bit and started to play, free football, that's when you saw this Indiana team that we've seen all year show up. Key number 2 is establish Heisman Mendoza. Obviously, a little bit rocky in the first half, a little bit slow in the first half. The wind was howling. People were making a huge deal about that. So the first and third quarters, obviously, were when Indiana was trying to score a lot, 21 points across those 2 quarters specifically. But like I said, Mendoza was, I think, 22 of 24, 299 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 to Becker, 1 to Nowakowski, 1 to Cooper, and I can't remember who the fourth one was to, but maybe EJ. But no, he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. And a couple of the deep balls he threw, dropping it into the bucket for Becker. And Becker brings an explosive element to this offense that really kind of wasn't there. They don't really have, like, he is their deep threat. He is their 50-50 ball guy. I think Jamie Jordan had the tweet where he's 4 for 4 contested catches, and his emergence has been big time. But Mendoza's ability to just deliver the football has been great. Guy's been great. And he is, I believe I saw he's now minus 120 to win the Heisman. So he's officially the favorite. He is now the overall favorite. He is like odds wise, a favorite. So that's really, really exciting, as it looks like Indiana's going to have their first Heisman winner in school history. And I did a little bit of research on the Heisman voting. And so actually I have the screenshot. So I think this is a good time to talk about it. So, key dates for the 2025 Heisman. Thursday, December 4th, ballots will be distributed to electors, including online login credentials. There's this whole, if you want, go to the Heisman website, and they have this whole breakdown of like region and state and electors, and it total like the entire count totals like 930 voters, and it's too complicated in my opinion, but that's where we're at. The next one to note is Saturday, December 6th. Online voting website opens at 5 p.m. Eastern. Now that's significant because the Big Ten championship game is on December 6th. I should have the time. I don't know if it's a noon game or if it's 3:30 kick. It will be, oh wow. It's going to be at 8 p.m. So the voting is going to open before the Big Ten championship game is played. So my guess is voters will probably wait until that game is played, which is why, like right now, Mendoza's minus 120. I think Sane was like plus 150, and they haven't played yet. They kick in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So yes, the online voting website will open on the 5th. All ballots are due by Monday, December 8th. On Monday, December 8th, they'll announce the Heisman finalists, and on Saturday, December 13th, they'll announce the Heisman winner via the Heisman Trophy ceremony. And then they'll have the Heisman Legends brunch on Sunday. So it really does feel like the Big Ten championship is going to decide the Heisman. Hopefully Mendoza can put it in a place where it's decided before then. But if that is the case, then I like where Mendoza stands, and I like our chances. So Heisman absolutely established in this one. Key number 3, and this will loop into 4 and 5, was unleash Mikal Kamara. And what we saw was in the second series, Kamara kind of get a little shaken up and never reappear back in the football game. We got I didn't listen to Signetti Spencer, but I saw the quotes on Twitter. He was dealing with a shoulder stinger, like a nerve type thing. Sig said a couple of the guys are dealing with that. That's what happens when you're going to play 6 straight Big Ten football games. These guys are going to get beat up. So obviously unfortunate, but very fortunate that Indiana's coming up on a bye. They need the bye. They really, really do need the bye. Key 4 and 5 was health in all caps. And thank God, knock on wood, that like it seems like Indiana got out of this one unscathed, which is really good. We saw Benson had to limp off at one point, but I think that was like an equipment issue. We saw Kalon Black I don't know what he was dealing with, whether that was another stinger or whatnot. But he came back on the field and carried the ball, which was really nice. Roman Hemby got absolutely. Oh, Holden Stays called the touchdown. That's who it was, because it was an absolutely like Roman Hemby put his body on the line for I think that was Posa or Kosa or whichever linebacker that was. He was ridiculous, but absolutely ran over Roman Hemby, and Hemby gave up his body for the Holden Stays touchdown. But yeah, this team needs the bye. They very, very much need the bye. And while we do really like the depth on this football team, like when the depth starts getting hurt, like then Indiana's going to have some serious issues. And so like, no, we need to get healthy. So the bye can't come at a good enough time. Hopefully Drew Evans can figure it out. Although I didn't think Ajani was bad today. Really felt like more so the pressure was coming from the right side of the line. But again, like it's hard to watching TV copy. It's really hard to tell. Like I'm not going to place blame on one side of the line versus the other. Bottom line is it wasn't the best game from the offensive line, but listen, those dudes have been battling in the trenches for 6 straight weeks. Like it's not exactly surprising that this may have been their probably worst game they put on the field this year. And like this bye again comes at a great time. So it wasn't exactly the game we thought it was going to be. Like my score prediction was 55-0. Brad's was 56-0. The spread was 29.5. The over under was 43.5. So none of it hit. Jamie was all over it with the under. The wind played a major factor, but yeah, we're at the point in the season where it's like, I'm not going to apologize for a 31-7 home win where the opposing team had 23 offensive yards in the second half. Like, look at the way some of these teams had to win today. Like Texas A&M, I watched the end of that game before recording. Like they were down 30-3 at half to South Carolina. Now they came back and won that game, but they scored 31 points. So it's like, it's hard to win football games. So it's like, no, I'm not going to sit here and apologize for a 31-7 win just because it didn't look as aesthetically pleasing as I wanted it to in the first 2 quarters. We'll see what happens in terms of recruiting. If you were looking at Indiana and you were like, I can't, like, if this was the break for you and you're like, well, if Indiana played like that against Wisconsin, this isn't the school for me. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if that was your takeaway from this game, because guys made plays left and right. The defense was downright locked down. The crowd was there, loud, early. I don't know. It was like these are going to be your bad games, 31-7 victories over Big Ten opponents, I'll take that every day of the week. So I thought the guys were great. Brad and I will be back at some point tomorrow night, probably on the later side. I'll get with him and we'll figure it out. But appreciate you guys hanging out. The Indiana Hoosiers are 11-0, and that is a beautiful thing. See you guys tomorrow night.